You have been fully 100% entirely molded, primed, and perfect for your purpose and your path. I know sometimes it doesn't feel like it doesn't seem like it from the things you've been doing that nobody knows, only you know the secrets you have between you and you. But guess what? Even that is a part of your purpose. And I'm saying that because I feel like there's so many of us, myself included, who feel like if I'm not on a certain path that I envisioned, then that must mean that I won't get to the destination that I envisioned because I'm not doing it the way I think I should. I'm not doing it the way they say I should do it. So for example, say you want to become an engineer. You should get an engineering degree, right? That's usually how people go and become engineers. But let's say your life created you to be an engineer. Let's say in the smallest of ways, whether what it was when you were doing when you were a child, when you were 5, when you were 16, when you were 20, you were doing things all throughout your life that was making sure that some way, somehow you become that. Not quite an engineer because you would have to go to school for that. But there's other aspects and there's so many more dynamic qualities to the person than just a certain degree, than just a certain kind of profession. And we have to remember like, wow, there's no greater teacher. There's no greater experience than life. You have a degree in life. You have a doctorate's degree in life. No matter what you've gone through, if you've gone through hell and back like so many of us have, right? If you've been somebody who's been abused or you've been mentally not okay, emotionally unwell or physically downtrodden, that's okay because all of those things are going to be used to exalt you at some point in your life. And we have to look at it that way. There's a quote by Dr. Wayne Dyer, the late Dr. Wayne Dyer, that says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at begin to change. And I was mulling over that recently and I was wondering, I wonder if, for example, let's say you're struggling with thinking that you're beautiful and feeling confident. I wonder if because you changed the way that you looked at yourself, were you always this beautiful or did you change and become beautiful? I still don't know the answer to that. Let me know down below. But I feel like that same occurrence or that same principle applies to you walking your path and walking your purpose. You have to redefine the way your life has been, the way it's treated you, whether it's been good or not so good. And you have to use that for your betterment. The beautiful thing about you is that you're so powerful that at any moment you can pick up that pen and rewrite your story. You can write you as the hero. You can write you as the villain, as the person who saved the day. Do it whatever you need to do in order to make sure that you prosper at the end of that story. You're writing your story. You and your creator are writing that story together. And that's a beautiful thing. You get to choose whether that's empowering or whether that's depressing, right? Like it could be both. It could be both depending on how you're looking at it that day. So I really want you guys to understand that perspective is everything. And that's something I'm currently learning. And I would love for you guys to be on the same journey with me as we learn these things so that we could become our best self. Because just because your journey didn't look like someone else's, or you were supposed to be this big basketball star, this big actress, or you were supposed to, I don't know, everybody was supposed to be something and didn't. Like you were supposed to become that, right? Supposedly. But instead, you might have deviated. You might have went on a path less traveled, a path that caused you some grief, or a path that caused you some happiness, or somewhere in between, which is most of us. And I want you to start to remember, as well as myself, that everything that we've gone through can and will be used. Everything that you have gone through can and will be used for your better good, for your best good. And that's something we need to deeply understand and get, because the more we look at our life from that vantage point, the easier it is for us to walk along our path and the easier it is for us to get to our destination. Because again, if we're that hooked up on a certain kind of outcome through a certain kind of means, just imagine how limiting that kind of life would be. You make no space for magic when you're so fixated on life happening exactly the way that you see fit. So therefore, it had to work out in a way that you didn't see fit, in a way that you never could imagine. Because guess what that makes room for? It makes room to have an outcome that is something that you also never imagined. And that's when you get the most beautiful things from life. Like, think about it. The most beautiful things that you've ever received, the best gift, the best moment, the best times, the best memories were when it was unexpected. Think about those fun nights we had, like in our early 20s, and it was just so unexpected. You went here and then you were randomly at this person's house, and then you randomly did this, and then you met this wonderful person. None of it was planned. You just left the house just like, going with the wind. And what you did was surrender in that moment, and you allowed life to take shape, and look how beautifully it did. So let's assume that that can also happen for this, that can also happen for the path that we're on. So fret not. Just because you feel like it's not unfolding the way you thought it would, you don't have the degree you think you should have, you don't have the accolades you think you should have, the connections, the people, the places, the things, you don't have those things. That's all right. You don't need them, because there's so much that you do have. Remember, when you change the way you look at your life will change. That principle can apply to so many things. We could just switch out words and it still applies. So always remember that you are not done. You are not finished. And this could be the beginning. Pick that pen up. Pick that pen up and rewrite that story. Rewrite it in a way that you are the victor. Rewrite it in a way that you are on top. So that way you can really operate from that space and feel wonderfully about yourself and all the things that you're bringing to your life. Like, why not? Like, this is our life where we're blessed to be here. This is wonderful. We should be grateful for this. And I understand why some people might not be, because life could really be something that's quite terrible to some people. And I'm not ignorant of that. But I do want to say, while we're here, why not just give it a shot and make it our best? So I hope that this resonated for you. Please let me know down below if you have anything to add about this, anything to add about your purpose, anything to add off what I'm saying. And also subscribe if you like the video, and I'll be talking to you guys soon.